All right, here we go. January 12th. We already got a question?
The sheet I have is a level 2.
Oh, it's a level 2? Okay. Yeah, double check to make sure yours says 3. Whoever's in video land is like in limbo right now. Okay. Oh, for people out in video land, quick summary of what we're doing today. We're going to go over level 3 conversion quizzes, and we are going to look at the level 3 conversion worksheet. And as a reminder, this is online. If you go to that particular web page and then you click in the left where it says physics, click on physics, left menu, then you click on, I think it's conversion. Who's actually gone there before? Trying to get you the real deal here. Click on physics and click on conversion documents. And again, that's in the left menu. And then you will be looking for conversion worksheet. Do I spell it right? Do I actually put level 3? I do. Level 3. And once you click on that, you'll be at the worksheet that we're working off of here in class. Okay, so now that you have that on video, I can get rid of it. Okay, now the first thing that I have, and this is kind of a review for you guys. What are the two, there are two main rules that we have taught you about setting up and processing conversion problems. Can somebody tell us what one of those rules is? And it can be summarized in one word. Diagonal. So when you need to convert a unit, as you go through the unit conversion process, you are going to be placing things diagonal so they cancel, and that allows you to convert to a new unit. So that's one rule. Now, there are details associated with that, but that's the big rule. Second one, and we just got exposure to this recently, has to do with exponents. Can someone explain what do you do if a unit is raised to an exponent? Matthew?
You do the conversions, the amount of the exponent.
Okay, if you have a unit that is being raised to the second power or the third power, that means those steps that are part of that conversion also have to be squared or cubed along the way. Because remember that when, for example, a very common thing, if we were talking about feet cubed and we wanted to go to meters cubed, that cubed actually means that we have 3 units of feet being multiplied together. So if somebody said, oh, well, I can go from feet to meter, we would literally have to do this conversion three times to convert every one of these feet to a meter on the other end. But an easier mathematical way for this to be done is, since these will be the same mathematical expressions, we can just cube that particular step. Okay? So as we go to this level 3 type of problem, this is one thing that you're going to want to remember, because instead of having one rule over the other, you'll be blending kind of both of those together. All right? And again, hopefully if you're going, huh? Once you see a couple problems worked out, I hope you'll go, oh, I get it. All right. So, what do level 3 structures look like? Here are your different looks. One is you'll have 3 separate units. 2 are being multiplied in the numerator, and then you have 1 in the denominator. Another one that is kind of like this is you may just have a single thing in the numerator, but then you have 2 things being multiplied by each other in the denominator. So in this scenario, this is like having 3 level 1 conversions just all wrapped up into one thing. So the main rule that you need to remember for this one is the first one that Stella mentioned. Just make sure things are diagonal from each other to set up your conversion. Now, a second type of structure that you might have could look like this. You only have 2 units, one on top, one in the numerator, one in the denominator, but one of them is being squared or cubed. Or we could have what kind of looks like the opposite scenario, with the thing on top not being squared or cubed, but the bottom one is. Now, as a quick review, anybody remember where we've actually seen something like this before?
Quadrant.
What?
Like the A, B, and C?
No. This structure where we have a single unit in the numerator and one on the bottom that has an exponent. Levi? Acceleration. Because the unit for acceleration was meter per second squared. Now the last one, the last type that you might see is like this, but with multiplication. So you have a unit that is being squared or cubed, being multiplied by another unit, or the first unit is to the first power and the second one is being squared or cubed. Okay? So these are the 3 different structures that you might encounter with a level 3 conversion problem, but all of the rules that you use to process these are rules that you already know. So the only difference is now you kind of got more of them packed together. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, now remember, in addition to this, there is the issue that there will be metric prefixes worked into this that you have to deal with as well. But again, that's stuff that you've already done in the past. Okay, so with this brief introduction, what I would like to do is let's see if we can do one sample of each of these. And then what we can do is give you kind of a second round that you can practice on your own. Because remember, on the worksheet here, the answers to the problems are over here in parentheses, at least the values of the answers. Okay, everybody's ready to go? You look super excited. Okay, so let's dive right in. We are going to do, let's start with number 2. All right, so number 2, we have, I'll write it here, 2.64 e negative 3, and then we have this over this times this, and what we're supposed to get to or convert to is quarts over megagrams times seconds. Ooh, ha ha. Okay, you guys can't do this, but I'm gonna go back and do something because hopefully it'll make it a little bit nicer. I'm gonna replace this with color so that we can show how when you set this up, you can only do one thing at a time. Ooh. Anybody want to come up and do this? Okay. I'll get started, and if anybody goes, "Oh, can I do the next color?" We'll let you go. I am going to ask for you to tell me what to put where, though. Let's go with taking centiliters to quarts first. So while we attack this, we don't even worry about the red and the green thing. So that means I need to introduce this. Can somebody tell me the units that are going to go where in this first one? Okay, Andres?
You can have centiliters on the bottom and liters on the top.
Okay, and what's the rule that you're following there?
Well, it's that it's diagonal.
Diagonal. Okay, now, we're not where we want to be, so that means we would need to do another one. What would be, I'll let you finish this one. What would go in the next one?
I would say liters to gallons, so liters on the bottom, gallons on top.
Okay, and then?
I would say, and then gallons on the bottom, and then quarts on top.
Okay. Okay, so the units so that you can see this in here, these are going to be beautiful examples because they'll be super complete. The units are diagonal from each other, so they cancel. So in essence, what we're doing is we're getting rid of our centiliter and we're going to replace it to quart. But now we got to have the right numbers in here. Okay? Anybody want to tell me what numbers are going to go where? Do you want to finish it?
Sure.
Okay.
So 1 liter is E2, and then
Okay.
1 gallon is 3.78 liters,
Okay.
and then 4 quarts is 1 gallon.
Okay. So we got our right numbers. Now, remember, this is putting the numbers in, like with the 3.78 and the 4, you know it, or don't know it, and that's where, we've given you a list of things to remember. The first one is our metric prefix step where you have to know your metric prefixes and what the multipliers are. So we have taken care of centiliter to quart now, so we're good. Somebody want to do the next one? Okay, Ben, do you want to do red or green?
Red.
Okay, so I'm going to need another magic H thing here. What's going to go where?
So going from pounds to milligrams, so you would go from pounds to grams first.
Okay, so what unit's going to go where in this thing?
Pounds is going to go on top, grams is going to go on bottom.
Okay. And then?
And then you're going to go from grams to milligrams.
Okay, so what's going to go where in the next one then?
Grams on top, milligrams on bottom.
All right, and now, this is capital M.
Megagrams.
Megagram. Okay? Now, again, we're diagonal. Our diagonal is a little different this time because the diagonal goes this way instead of this way. what numbers are going to go where in each of these?
So 1 pound is equal to 3.28 grams, or
It's a big number.
It's a number up here.
It's a big one.
It's the biggest one.
454.
454. And then what do we got here with our gram megagram?
And then megagram gets the 1, gram gets the E6.
Perfect. All right, so we're good. Okay, somebody want to do the green? Okay, Alexis, let's see. I'm running out of space here. What's going to go where? Okay. Okay, and then? Perfect. All right, what number is going to go where in this first one? Okay, and then for the next one? Okay, and we got our diagonal happening here so that those guys cancel. So what we ended up with is quarts, which is what we wanted, megagrams, and then seconds. Okay? Now, at this point, we are set up correctly. We just need to do the math. Now, I'm going to be really meticulous about this again. When you go to your calculator, who wants to take us through the math? Okay, Michaela. So, my preference is we just work through this left to right. So, we run into this guy here. So, what's the math that we do?
So you first divide by E2.
We divide by E2, and that takes care of this. And then what?
Divide by 3.78.
Divide by 3.78.
Multiply by 4.
We multiply by 4.
Divide.
Now let me change. What's next?
Divide by 454.
Divide by 454.
Multiply by E6.
Multiply by E6. Switch colors. Next.
Divide by E2. And then divide by 3,600.
Okay. All right. So on your calculators now, you guys can rip through this all in one calculation. So we have 2.64, and remember, if you need the E, it's the EXP button on the bottom. And then you have -3 there. That's this number. So then you can hit divide, that exponent 2. Then the next thing is divide by 3.78. Then we multiply by 4. Then we divide by 454. Multiply by that EXP 6. Divide by EXP 2. And then divide by 3,600. So it's kind of long. And then hit equal. And when you do that on the calculator, it would show, I'm going to give a few numbers here. I'll go one more digit. It would show that value. And remember, the exponent, the E value, the scientific notation is over there off on the right. And then we would put these units on the final answer. So we'd have quarts over megagrams times seconds. Okay? That was our time. Oh, we got till 26. Okay, we good with this one? Okay. Now I think what we may do, just to kind of ease into this, I'm going to do one other sample, and then we'll give you a little bit of time to do some practice, and then tomorrow we'll do the third sample problem. So we'll take 2 days to kind of go through this nice and slow and complete. But hopefully, for those that have been here for the semester, this is really the same stuff you've been doing all along, right? It's just that you've had to do 3 different problems within this one conversion because this unit here had 3 like subunits in it. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. Anybody need a picture? Following along? Okay. And if you didn't get a picture, where could you go to access this? You can watch the video once I get it up there. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. And now we're going to try a sample of the kind of that second type. And number 5. Okay. Let's see. Just to give a little color. This time we'll do blue, orange. So number 5, we have 8.14 E -2. Wait. Said number 5, right?
Yeah, that's number 5.
Yeah, I'm good. All right. So then on top we have giga-hours cubed over micropounds. And we want to go to that cubed. Now, one quick little question. What unit is this?
Minutes.
It's minutes. What's the other possible thing that it could be? What? Milli-inches. But we know it's not milli-inches because our starting unit is an hour, which is time, which means this has to be a time. So that's why it's minutes. And then on the bottom, we have grams. Okay? Who wants to start? Somebody new. Somebody willing to go? Is that a... All right, Julian, do you want to start with the blue or the orange?
I'll do the blue.
Okay, so we'll do the blue. Okay, so what are we going to do in the first one?
Put giga-hours on the bottom.
Okay, and then on the top?
Giga-hours.
Okay, and then what?
Add the exponent.
Okay, and since we know that this literally means that we have, now when you go, how did that happen? We don't worry about that. It happened. Since we have 3 of these, this step needs to be done 3 times. So we're going to put an exponent of a 3 there. Okay, and then what's next?
You can add another H.
All right.
Hours on the bottom, and then minutes on the top.
All right.
And then would you add the exponent?
Yes. Every single, and this is where the color coding is nice. Since the cube is with this blue unit, anything we do in blue is going to have a cube with it. So it's not just the first step that gets the cube, it's any step associated with getting from giga-hours to minutes. Okay, now numbers. What numbers are we putting in the first one?
You can put 1 at the bottom, and then E9 at the top.
Okay,
And then 60 minutes, and then
okay, and we're good. So this has now canceled that. This one cancels that. We've got it cubed, and so now we have minutes cubed, and we're good to go. Okay, somebody want to take us through the other one, because there's only one other one. Anybody? All right, Ben. So we need another magic age.
Yeah.
Now we're transitioning to orange. Okay, what's going to go where?
So micropounds and the micropounds on top, regular pounds on bottom.
Okay.
And then the next age, it's going to be pounds on top, grams on bottom.
Okay, and do we have to worry about the exponent like we did before?
No.
No, because we don't have one.
Yeah.
So what numbers are going to go where here now?
So micropound is going to get the E -6,
And then what are you going to put on the other side?
a 1 per pound because it's the bigger.
Okay, it's the bigger, so it's going to get the 1.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean about the E on the other side? It's true that micro, the multiplier is E -6,
But just give it +6.
but we think about how far away is the base unit and that in terms of just positive units.
So just E6.
So this will be E6.
All right.
And then what's in the next one?
1 pound on top, 454 on bottom.
Okay. So now we got everything taken care of. The micropounds canceled because they're diagonal. The pounds have canceled because they're diagonal. So we're left with minutes cubed on top and grams on the bottom. And we're good. So now it's time to do some calculating. All right, so let's see, I'll color code this. Anybody want to guide us through this? Are you our go-to calculator, Michaela?
I don't know, this one part's really easy.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
Multiply by E9
We're multiplied by E9
cubed.
cubed. Now, on your calculator, there is a button, remember, that is upper left that says x cubed. That's the one you would want to hit. So when you put the E9 with the exponent 9 and then you hit the cubed button, you'll get a 3 right there. And you're all good to go there. What would we do next?
You multiply by 60.
We multiply it by 60, and we have to hit that cubed button again. Okay, remember, when you're doing exponents, I will strongly discourage you from using that little caret button unless you use lots of parentheses. So I have to leave you freedom if you like that caret thing, but one of the reasons I specifically chose this calculator is because it has an x squared button and an x cubed button. And if you use those, you do not have to worry about parentheses at all. You put a value with the E and the cube and you are good to go. Okay? What's the next thing?
Multiply by E6. And divide by 454.
Okay? So that's what we would do on our calculator. So we get 8.14. Remember, the EXP button is the one that gets you the E, and then there is an actual negative button up on the left if you want to use that, but if you use the minus thing, it processes it the right way. So we got -2. Then we would do times E9, hit that x cubed button, times 60, hit that cubed button, times E6, divided by 454. And when you get to the end, you just hit equal, and hopefully I did this right. We get, bam, huge, 3.8728 if we went that far, E34. And then our units would be minutes cubed over grams. Okay? So if you look at this and think about our rules, we've always used the diagonal one, but we needed to use the exponent one only on the blue part of this problem because that's the only subunit that carried an exponent. And we didn't do exponents on the orange part because that that subunit was just to the first power. Okay? So far, so good? Okay. So, here is where I'm gonna throw out one sample problem for you guys of each type that with this worksheet that you can kind of practice on your own. And then tomorrow we will go through a sample of the third one where it's like this, but instead of things being divided, the two things would be multiplied. So for your practice, let's see. I'll put this up here. We did number 2, right?
Yeah, we did number 2.
Yeah. Let's have you do number 1, and then let's have you do number 4. Okay. So, you got a few minutes left here. So I would like to think maybe you could knock one of these out to see if you're good to go with that. And then the other one, you could practice, on your own by tomorrow. And then tomorrow, we'll go through a sample problem of the other type, and then I'll put a couple more practice ones up here for you. Any questions? All right. Very productive. All right. So I'm going to end our video.